My parents said they couldn't afford to take me on vacation. Then, I saw my sister's family boarding first class. I didn't say a word, but a week later, they weren't smiling anymore, and the calls started pouring in. I've always been the other sibling, not the golden child, not the one who gets praised at family dinners. Just there. My sister, Sarah, on the other hand, was the shining star, the perfect daughter, the loving wife, the doting mother of 2 precious children, the one my parents always bent over backward for. And I was Daniel, the responsible one. The one who didn't ask for much. The one who worked hard, paid his bills, and unfortunately, always seemed to have extra money when someone in the family needed it. It started small. "Danny, could you help with the electricity bill this month?" my mom had asked once. "Your father and I are a little tight." I had just started my first real job, and I was happy to help. Then my sister needed a little help too. "Liam needs braces, and it's just so expensive." "I wouldn't ask, but I know you're doing well," she sighed over the phone. And so it went, helping with bills, covering unexpected repairs, chipping in for my niece and nephew's school supplies. "You're so lucky, Danny," my mom would say with a smile. "You don't have all these responsibilities like Sarah does." Lucky, that's what they called it. I told myself it was fine. It's family after all. And besides, I wasn't struggling. I had no wife, no kids, no massive expenses. But there was one thing I had always wanted, to travel. I had dreamed about it for years, saving up, looking at destinations, imagining myself exploring places I had only seen in pictures. Yet somehow, every time I got close, something came up, a family emergency, an unexpected expense, a guilt trip. So when I finally booked my dream trip to Italy, paying for every cent myself, I told no one. It was my one selfish act, or so I thought. I was at the airport, waiting in the economy boarding line, feeling that mix of nervous excitement and exhaustion that came with international travel. Then I heard my sister's voice. "No, Liam, put your backpack down. The seats are huge, you don't need all that stuff." I turned my head, and my breath caught in my throat. Sarah, my niece and nephew, my parents, all standing in the priority boarding line, laughing, relaxed, wearing matching vacation outfits. First class. For a second, I thought I had lost my mind. My parents, who couldn't afford a trip for me. My sister, who always claimed they were struggling. I took a slow breath. Maybe they saved up for this. Maybe it was some kind of miracle. Then I heard my mom laugh. "Oh, I still feel bad we couldn't take Danny," she said, shaking her head. "Please," Sarah snorted, "he wouldn't have fit in." A pit formed in my stomach. I clenched my jaw, turning away as the attendant called their group for boarding. I didn't say a word. I just watched them walk into first class, completely unaware that I had seen everything. And in that moment, something inside me changed. I didn't text them, I didn't call. For the first time in my life, I let the silence sit. Normally, I was the one checking in, the one asking if they needed anything, the one making sure my parents weren't struggling. But this time, nothing, and it felt good. My trip to Italy was everything I had dreamed of. Walking through ancient streets, drinking espresso at tiny cafes, standing in front of the Colosseum, knowing I had made this happen for myself. I should have been happy, and I was. But at night, when I sat on my hotel balcony watching the city lights flicker, I kept replaying that moment at the airport. He wouldn't have fit in. The words echoed in my head, scratching at something deep inside me. It wasn't even about the money, not really. It was the realization that my family never saw me as one of them. They had been laughing at me.